Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 card review. Hit a review a card that was released in Crossover Souls February 14th. What we're looking at here is Yosen Tornado. It is a continuous spell card. Description: you can you activate this card by paying 800 life points. Once per turn, if a Yosenju monster you control is returned to the hand except during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls, return that target to the hand. During your end phase, if you did not activate this effect or this effect was negated, destroy this card. So this might be stupid to mention. I don't know if they're talking about activating like that once per turn effect. Each time you activate that is going to cost 800, or just putting the card on the field for the first time, that's 800. I think it's obviously, you activating the card for the first time, then that's 800 life points. I couldn't imagine them having a card like this where you have to pay 800 life points every time you have to activate um, that once per turn effect. I think that'd be kind of silly, but especially this day and age in Yu-Gi-Oh, in this era in Yu-Gi-Oh. But it's a very, very useful card with the Asenjus. Uh, Depending on, because even though different ones have different effects. With some of them, when you normal summon them, they get sent back to your hand during the end phase. With other ones, when they get special summoned, they get sent back to your hand. So, that's something that if you're going to use this card, you're really going to have to pay attention to. But other than that, when they do get sent to your hand, at least you know that you'll be able to, bounce your opponent's cards off of the field. Especially the ones that are causing you the most trouble. So that could be something right there. Monsters in particular, because they can just reset their trap cards and reactivate their spell cards. So that may be something you might want to be aware of. You know, like you may want to target the monsters prior to, or you may want to target the monsters before you target like the spells and traps. I would say, unless, say for example, like the spells or the traps have like some type of life point cost, and then that way you can like force your opponent to activate it again and have to pay more life points to to activate the card again. Like that could be like one way you can use your opponent's cards against them. But other than that, I think this is a good way to utilize that, or what would be considered a drawback. It's a good way to take advantage of it. That way your opponent can, um, you know, lose their cards, or you know, that way you'll be able to get your opponent's cards off the field the same time your monsters are leaving the field. And going back to your hand. So it's kind of like the what's the name of that trap card? Uh, uh, Spirit Invitation. With the Yosenjus, that they've been compared to the spirit monsters more often than none, because they both have the effects where they bounce back to your hand during the end phase. It's just that with the Yosenju, some of them go back to your hand during the end phase if they were normal summon, and the other ones, go back to your hand when they get special summon. So, but the similarity is that they both bounce back to your hand at some time or another. So just like with the spirit monsters, they have a spirit invitation, which is a trap card, but it still bounces cards your opponent controls back to their hand when your spirit monsters comes back to your hand. And with the Yosenjus, they have Yosen Tornado, which pretty much does the same thing. The only difference is that you have to pay 800 life points, but it's good though. So I would say obviously this works best with Yosenju Realm Whirlwind, because while if you're using the Yosenju build or that archetype as a well, if you're using the pendulum monsters in the archetype, then use Yosenju Realm Whirlwind. That way, when the effect that this activates and your monsters get bounced back to your hand from their effects, and then you bounce an opponent's card back to their hand. When your Yosenju Realm Whirlwind is on the field, it bounces it back to their deck. So that would actually be a smart thing to do. Is to combine this with um, Yosenju Realm Whirlwind. Because that way they'll bounce back to the deck, or those cards will bounce back to the deck instead of their hand. So they would have to shuffle them back into their deck, so it's not like they'll be getting it right back, on the field right away. So that's something. So link to this card is going to be in the description. You guys can check it out, and I'll see you for the next card review. Peace.